Hi there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. You can see Doreen over in the corner there. She's visiting. This is our monthly craft visit. And yeah, we're having fun. We've had a lot of fun. We went to a card class this morning and it's pouring rain, but who cares? So anyway, a couple of things. I wanted to share the new 3 kits for, what month is this? March. So let me go down to my desk because these are really pretty. The Radiant Reminders kit. And I actually don't know anything about it. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And then let me grab the other 2. This is so cool. These are little clipboard, like picture holder uppers. There's a camera there. Isn't that cool? So there's 3 of them in the kit. I think there's 2 large ones like this size and then a smaller one this size. So really, really cool. Love it. So there's 2 of these and 1 of these. And then the other kit is called Every Little Thing. And this one comes with a Secret Sea ink spot and a stamp set that says, does it say, "You are loved. What if it all goes right? And enjoy the little things." So that's cool. So I can't wait to play with this kit. And what else did I get today? Oh yeah, the new March product of the month is this stamp set, photopolymer stamp set. Isn't it cute? I've seen some really cute cards done with it already, so I can't wait to get using it. Very, very cute. So that came today as well. So this is the card that we're going to make. I've made a few of them actually. This one here, I made, whenever I try a new card layout or whatever, I always use retired DSP because then I don't feel so bad if I screw it up. But look at this. So I've got all my my notes. This is the first one that I made. But look at this. So it's just a card and then you open it up and ta-da, that slides out of the way. Isn't that cool? Very, very cool. So this is another one. This is the one that we're going to be doing today using the lovely, what's it called? Lovely Blossoms designer paper. And I did it just in Crumb Cake and Secret Sea. So this slides out like that. I just think this is the coolest thing. Oh, I got a wire here. Hold on. There, it's better. Yeah, isn't that cool? And then I made this one using the same designer paper. And I just put a little bit of Wink of Stella on the flowers there, you can see. I find that now that I've switched to an old phone instead of using an actual camera, my pictures are so much better. And then I just used Lost Lagoon in there. I think it was Lost Lagoon. No, you know what it was? Cloud Cover. That's Cloud Cover. And then here's another one that I made using the product of the month designer paper from last month. Cool, huh? So this is what we're making today, but we're going to actually do this layout. So I showed it to Doreen, and she took one of the samples and my notes, and that's how easy it is. She had one made in about 15 minutes. So
make it a half hour.
Was it a half an hour?
Yeah, because I had to recut stuff because I made the mistake of the wrong color.
Oh, okay. So she just cut wrong cardstock. So, but yeah, it's a quick, easy little fun card. If you're just joining us, hi, thanks for popping in. Please say hello. I'm going to go to multi-stream here in case you're in Facebook. Yeah. Oh, hi, Marianne. Oh, you're in California. Oh, did you go to Onstage? Oh, I can't believe this is the first time in 8 years I have not gone to Onstage. I'm totally bummed out. But I am spending March break with my grandkids, so I'm really excited about that. All right, so this is the card that we're going to be doing. And this is the paper that we're going to be using. So it's the Lovely Blossoms. I'm just going to turn off my upper light because I can see the shadow here from my cord from my phone is driving me bananas. So hold on.
Lisa. Oh.
What?
Never mind.
What were you going to say?
Your side lights.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, never mind. I saw you turn them on.
Yeah, so Doreen gave me these lights for Christmas, and they're fabulous. And it's funny, I have a TV in here, and whenever I turn on my television, the lights go on. Yeah, on stages this weekend. This, as I say, this is the first time in 8 years I haven't gone, so I have a little bit of FOMO going on there, but I'll be okay. So this is the paper that we're using, and I think I've probably chopped up. Oh, hi, Verna. Thanks for popping in. Is it raining down there? Verna's in New York State. So this paper comes with a sheet that's all like panels, but I wanted to use the stripes, and of course I've cut up all my panels. But this is one of the panels that was like this panel. It's chopped up now, but so this is a panel, and then there was a bunch of panels in a row, and this is one of them. Let me see if I have any left. I know I've used quite a bit of them. This was one of the panels that sat, there was like 3 or 4 of them in a row. So that was one of them. This paper is beautiful. I may be forced to get another. Oh, hold on. I just found a piece. Okay, so here's what this kind of looked like this. And then this is part of here. So, and then these little squares down here, and the back is a blue stripe, which is really pretty. Cloud, I'm going to say that's cloud cover on the back. Oh, thanks. You know what, Verna? I'll quickly go through the other cards too, because you missed the beginning. So here are the papers. They're kind of a disaster because they're all chopped up, but so there's this floral, which is big floral here, and it's got like a green linen on the back. Isn't that pretty? Love it. And then we have this crumb cake little ditzy floral with the Secret Sea little diamonds on the back. And then this one with the cloud cover and old olive floral is like what color is that? Petal pink, little floral ditzy on the back. And then, oh, here's another one of those big panels. And that's all I have left to show you, but here are the papers. I'm gonna get myself out of the way there. Let me just make myself scarce here. Oops. See if I can make that smaller because it's cramping my style here. There we go. Okay, so here are the different papers. Isn't that pretty? And then your coordinating colors. You've got crumb cake, cloud cover, old olive, petal pink, and Secret Sea. Beautiful. I love this paper. I'm not usually one to buy a second pack of paper, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be grabbing another package of this one. So that's what we're using today. Now, I haven't cut my designer paper for the card. I'm going to cut that as we go. So let's just put this aside. I'm just going to put it right here where I can grab it readily. I'm going to leave this one out. This is my reference. And these are the ones that I've already done. And then I, just for interest, instead of doing like on this one, I had different layers in the front. But for this one, I decided, I don't know if you can see, yeah, I decided to use an embossing folder instead because I'm using a smaller panel. So I just wanted a little bit of interest around the outside of it. So that's, we're going to use the Beautiful Pattern embossing folder, which is gorgeous. Okay, so why don't we get started? So you need for this two card bases. And so one of them, I'm using crumb cake, and one of them is 5.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/8. And the second one is 6 1/8 by 5.5, and I've scored it at, it should be this way actually. I've scored it at 3 3/8. So the first one, we're going to, I'm going to fold it this way. So I've got my larger piece facing and my little flap is facing like the top. So let me grab a bone folder, and I'm just going to really burnish this well because I want this to lay flat. So on here, I'm going to measure 3/8 of an inch. Let me grab a pencil. 3/8 of an inch from the top and 3/8 of an inch from the bottom, because I just want to make a little mark. So, so 3/8, so 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to put a little mark there, and I'm going to count 3/8 of an inch back from the 5.5. So 1, 2, 3, and just put a little pencil mark there. So, yeah, I like that embossing folder too. It's so pretty. So I also have over here 2 pieces of crumb cake that are 2 1/8 by 4. And these are going to be our sliding, basically our sliding mechanism. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to glue them to this flap with the edge lining up with the fold, our burnished fold here, our score line. So let me grab some glue. And I'm just going to go like from this little tiny pencil line. Now that's going to be hidden later, so don't worry about it. I'm just going to put a bit of glue. And how much room do I have here? Oh, I can put a bit more. You just want to be sure that you don't have glue going somewhere that it's going to stick on something and not, you know, stick your card together where you don't want it stuck together. All right, so I'm going to stick that right there, like this. I've got my edges lined up, and you want to make sure that this is, you know, straight. Oops. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, but I'm going to line it up with the pencil mark on the bottom. So let me just go ahead and put some glue down here. Actually, I could probably go a little further. And I'm going to line that up with the pencil mark and along that folded edge. I did get glue where I don't want it, so make sure you get that. There. So there's part 1 of our card mechanism. So now I'm going to take my piece that's 6 1/8 by 5.5, and I've scored it already at 3 3/8. And I'm going to fold it. I've got my mountain is on this side, so I'm going to fold it this way. So let me grab my bone folder, and I'm going to burnish that really well. Now, I saw this card. I don't know if any of you guys know Jay Soriano. He's on the, oh, what do you call it? The design team for Stampin' Up. And he is a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. And if you ever want to see somebody color who is a genius at color, it's Jay Soriano. And his business is called Mitusu Crafts, and it's named after his cats. So his cats are, oh, do you remember what his cats are called?
No.
One is called Suki, and the other one is I think it's Mia or something like that. So this is going to sit in here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the bigger side. So you got a small side and a big side. I'm going to put glue on the back of the bigger side. And I'm a little heavy-handed on the glue with this one, more than I normally am. I'm not usually very heavy-handed on the glue. And I'm just lining it up to edge here. Make sure that it's nice and square. There. So I will type up the notes that have all of the measurements for you, so that you can give this a try, because it's a fun card. There. All right, so I got a bit of glue there I want to get rid of before I end up with a disaster. Okay, so the next piece I have is, let me have a look here. 5/8 of an inch wide by 9.5. Now, I don't think I trimmed this. I think I just cut an 11-inch strip. So let me I want this to be 9.5. So let me go to 9.5. I did not cut it, so it's a good thing I looked. So 9.5, I'm going to use my darker blade, which is my cutting blade, and just cut that off. And I need to score it at 2 inches from each side. So I'm going to score it. And make sure you use your lighter blade so that you don't cut the end off. And just score it at 2 inches. And then flip it around and score it at 2 inches again. Okay. So now I'm just going to fold in my 2 scored ends like this. And you want to make sure that this is well burnished, because you want it flat, really flat. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is this inside flap, I'm going to glue my little belt right to the very edge of this piece. So, okay, we glued this second base into the first base, and now I'm going to put glue just on my little flap here. And I'm going to line it up right in the corner like this, like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the second flap right here. So it's this flap right here. I'm just putting glue on it, and I'm going to put it right in the bottom corner here as well. And you can use, like I'm using liquid glue, you can use whatever you like, but I like the liquid glue because if you need to shift it around, you do have that ability to do that. And try not to get glue on the front of your card. All right, so there is our front part of the card, and here's the back card. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take these 2 flaps, and I'm just going to slide them under that belt like this. In you go. Ta-da. Okay. And so now here is our sliding mechanism. How cool is that? Cool, huh? All right. So next we're going to put our layer. We're going to start doing our layers. So on the front, this is the one that I embellished with, or not embellished, embossed with the beautiful pattern embossing folder. And this piece is 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to glue this right onto here. Now, if you wanted to, like on this one, oh, thanks, Verna. I used a piece of what's it called again? Secret C. That was 4 by 5 1/4. And then I just trimmed this panel to fit inside of it. So, but instead of using this like a darker panel, I'm just going to go ahead and use this tone on tone. I'm a big one for tone on tone cards. I really like them. So I'm just going to glue that right onto the front like this. So again, this one was 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to glue that on there. Make sure it's straight. And then I have my little panel that I cut out of the designer series paper, and this one is 3 by 4. And my little base underneath it in the Secret C is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So you could do 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 if you wanted to, but I really liked, you know, just that little, because the other part of it is tone on tone. I just thought that little 1/8 of an inch all the way around looks really pretty. So let me go ahead and glue this to this. You can see how simple this card is. It looks really fancy. People will think you're a card making genius, but really it's pretty easy. All right, so I'm just going to center this right on here like this. And I debated about putting this layer on dimensionals, but because there's so much bulk on the inside of the card, I chose not to do that really. So I'm just going to glue that down. So let's go ahead and just pop that on the glue, or on with glue, I should say. And I'm just going to center that right here. There. Cool, huh? I like it. All right, so now for the inside. For the inside, I have two pieces of what's this called again? Secret C. Cheapers. I always want to say soft sea foam. Secret C. So the one for the left side, the bigger side, is 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to glue that right down. So on this side, you have a couple of options. You could put a piece of basic white inside of the Secret C and use that to write your message with. I didn't. I just put like designer paper and just have, you know, a part here where you can write, you know, just love whoever or whatever. But on this side, if you wanted to, you could just put a piece of designer of basic white and maybe stamp a leaf or something on it, and then have it if you wanted to send a note. So, you know, that's an option for you. And then for this side, on the right side, my Secret C is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that one down as well. So there we go. And then next, now these are going to go onto my sliders like this, here and here, with the basic white on top of it. But what I want to do first, before I do that, is I'm going to cut my designer paper. So let me grab my designer series paper here, and I'm going to do the same. I really like the, I wonder what this would look like. I really like this one too. But I really like just the crumb cake tone on tone. But I'm wondering if this is going to be too busy. Probably not, because I really like that. What's on the other side? The peach. But there's no glue on the front. I'm terrible when it comes to putting color together. I just kind of like the basics. So let's cut a piece of this. I wonder if I have enough of a big piece here. Maybe. All right, let's see. So I've got my trimmer here, and I need, on the left side, I need a piece that's 3 by 5 1/8. So let's see how big this is. So 5 1/8. I just have to trim a little smidgen off the edge here. So I need a piece that's 3. I don't know if you can see, 3 inches. And then my next piece has to be 2 3/8. Ooh, just made it. So 2 3/8. So that's going to go on the inside of our card here, like this. So let's go ahead and just pop this one down. Now you can use either side. I kind of like the crumb cake on crumb cake, kind of. So let's pop this one in here. And this one in here. There we go. All right, so now we're going to put our 2 pieces of Secret C, and in the Secret C is 3 1/8 by 2 1/8, and you need 2 of them. And then you need 2 pieces of basic white that are 3 by 2, and you need 2 of those. So for this, what I need to do is I'm going to close my card, and I'm going to grab my pencil. And again, you're not going to see this, so, you know. So I'm going to put just a little pencil mark, like where, when the card is closed, if you open it up just a hair, you can see, let me see, like right here, where the card is, it's closed basically, but you don't want to have glue anywhere further than this line, because if you do, it won't slide. It'll glue it closed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mark a little pencil line right there. And again, this is going to be covered, so if you make a bigger pencil mark, it does not matter. But I just want to make sure that I'm not any further than in here, because if you put glue in here, it's going to stay glued shut. All right, so that's, I'm just going to put a bit of glue, and I'm not even going to go to the line. I just really need to have the edge secure here. Come on. I should have my silicone mat under me here, since I'm right on my tabletop. There, that's better. All right, so I'm just going to line this width and this width is the same. So I'm just going to line this up perfectly like this. And when you glue it, you want to make sure that your edges are all straight. Otherwise, you're going to see the bottom part first. So that's going to pop on there. And you can see how far away I am from my pencil line, right? With the glue. Because glue will smush, and I don't want it to smush past that line. So I'm just going to, I made sure I wasn't anywhere near that line with my glue. You could use tear and tape if you want. Again, I'm a liquid girl. I like my liquid glue, so. And just make sure that your things are covered perfectly. All right, so there's our card, basically. Now, I need to prepare what I do with my 2 little white pieces here. Oh no, they ran away. Okay, I have one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces. They are 3 by 2, and I'm going to stamp on them. So I'm using, again, the Lovely Arrangements. Now, these are not available at the moment, but they will be back in stock the week of March 23rd. So that's only like just over 10 days. So like not quite 2 weeks. So, yeah, and you can go in on the, if you really like this and you don't have it, if you click on it, it'll say not available, but there is also a little bar will come up and say that you can be notified when it does come back in stock, and they will send you an email. So there's always that option too. And these are will be available in my online store, critters'nink.com. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, I would love to be able to help you out. So I'm going to take the big leaf here, and let me grab a block. Is that going to fit on there? Nope. So I'm using the, which one is this? The C block, and it fits really nicely on the C block. And I'm using my Secret C ink. And let me just grab a piece of scrap paper here, because obviously I don't want to get ink on my silicone mat, and I don't want to get ink on my table. So let's take one of our 3x2 little pieces here. And I'm going to ink that up, make sure it's well inked. Got something on my block here. Let me grab my, so you can see, where's my camera here? Right there. Something on my, something, a little booger on my block. So I didn't get a good ink. It's probably a cat hair. We have lots of those around. If you're ever feeling the need to have cat hair in your life, let me know, because we have lots. So that's better. You can see now that it's a perfect inking. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop a leaf right here. Oh, that's so pretty. And I'm going to take the big flower. Will that fit on a C? It will, just by the skin of its teeth. That also fits on a C block. So let's give that a stamp and see what we're doing. Okay, that looks good. And I'm just going to stick that in the corner over here. Now remember, when you're inking up, especially with foam ink pads, a light tap is all you need to put ink on your stamps. And you can see even here I was a little bit aggressive, and I have ink all inside of my flower there, and you really don't need that. All you need is like on this side where it's just on the raised part. So let me clean that, because sure as heck I'm going to get an ink transfer somewhere. We don't want that, that's for sure. So that is one of our little blocks. Now the second little block, I'm just going to clean my leaf, because I don't want to get ink on my sweater. Make sure I haven't already. And pop that aside. So I've got my second piece of 3x2 basic white. And I'm just going to stick a flower up in the corner. I really like this flower. So I'm just going to stick a flower up here, maybe in the corner. And then I'm going to take Sending Smiles, which is where? Right here. All right. Ugh, I just dropped that right in the ink. Okay, so I've got Sending Smiles. Now when you're loading your photopolymer stamps onto a block, it's a good idea to just let them sit and relax, especially the long skinny ones, because they can curve, and then when you go to stamp it, it'll be, you know, wonky. But this way, if you do it this way, let it rest for a second and then pick it up with your block, it'll be nice and straight. Now I put mine on an angle because just the way my vision is, excuse me, I can't compete with the bottom of the block. Like if I was to just have it, I'll load it up straight and just kind of show you what I'm talking about. If I load it up like this and I try to stamp it this way, my brain doesn't go there. I have to load it on an angle so that I'm not competing with the edges of the block and the edge of the paper. So that's just a foible for my little brain. But I mean, if it works for you, great. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. So I always load my blocks on an angle like this. And that way I don't have to contend with the edges of the block. I'm just dealing with the straightness of the stamp and the straightness of my paper, and then I'm good. So let's ink this up. Straight down, straight up. You don't want to have any shadows or any little halos around your stamp. So that's stamping quite nice. So I feel like I have a little hair or something on the E. Let me have a look. I'll try it again. Nope. I think it was just something on the paper. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp it right there. Beautiful. So we can get rid of this. Give this a clean. Good idea to clean as you go so that you don't inadvertently drop your card on an inky stamp. Ask me how I know. That is a famous trick of mine. Or infamous, I guess. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and we are going to load these guys up. So this one is going to go onto here like this. So let's glue him up. And I've left room to sign it. But again, if you wanted to, you could put even a 3 3/4 by 5, or, you know, a little arch or something to put a sentiment on this side. You can absolutely do that. Or not a sentiment, but like a note. You can pop a little whatever you like in there. And then I'm going to put this little floral up in the corner here. So here we go. Like that. So if you're just joining, say hi and tell me where you're from. We've got a California here and a New York. It's kind of exciting. So there is our card. Isn't that super snappy? Now on the back, now we haven't finished the front yet. I still have to do my banner, but on the back, what you need to do is take a ruler, because this could change from time to time. Your width, it'll never be exactly the same. So on here, I literally have 3, should I do 3.5? No, it's not quite 3.5. It's like however many 16ths that is, 8/16. So 7/16. 3 7/16 is what I need to cut it at by 5.5. Okay, we'll see you later, Verna. Thanks. 5.5 by 3 7/16. Yeah. All right. So let me grab my trimmer, and I have a piece of Secret C, or you could do it in crumb cake. I'm going to do it in Secret C. So 3 7/16, which is the one little line. Like if you look on here, 8/16 is a half of an, oh, where am I? Where's my thingy? 8/16 is a half of an inch, right? Because you have 16/16. So half is 8, and one little 16th before that is 7. So 7/16. So I'm going to line that up and give it a trim. And this needs to be 5.5. Please be 5.5. It is. Okay. So I can trim this at 5.5. I didn't even measure it before I before I went live. I just grabbed a piece of Secret C and said, please fit. All right. So now this is going to go on the back like this. And you can see here that it's not perfectly straight, and that's going to bug me. So I'm going to get another piece of Secret C, and I'm going to cut a different piece. Or maybe, do I have a piece of crumb cake? I do not. Okay. So basically what I want, so this must be folded a little bit crooked because it's not perfectly square. And that probably will irritate me. So let me grab another piece of Secret C. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5 by 3.5. And then if I have to do an adjustment afterwards, I will. Oh, what happened to my video here? What the heck? There. So I'm going to trim this to 5.5 because that's what I need for my height. So 5.5. And I'm going to do 3.5, and then if I need to adjust it, I will adjust it. So 3.5. Because 3 7/16 was my measurement, but obviously my back is not square, so I'd rather have it a little bit big and have to trim a little sliver off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's going to get glued to there, like this. And you can see there's just barely a little sliver on this end, and I can just take my snips and give that a snip off. So that's what I'm going to do. So to glue the backing onto here, just to clean this up, because that's not really pretty, is it? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just putting glue on this belt part, nowhere else, because otherwise it won't open. So I'm just going across like this, and I'm not putting it right to the very edges because glue will smush. So let's go ahead and lay this down, and I'm lining up all my raw edges and the top and bottom like this. There, that is so pretty. And then you can see there's just a smidgen little hairline of Secret C. And you know what? What if I smoosh this over just a hair? Yeah, that did it. I just moved this over like literally like the tiniest little amount, and it's fine. I'm not going to trim it. I'm going to leave it the way it is. And so now this is going to open like this. Beautiful. Okay, last thing. We need to do our hello friend. So I'm going to take the little scrap from what I just cut off of that Secret C. And we're going to emboss that in white embossing powder. So I have, whoops, sorry. Ooh, that was loud. I have my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to make sure that this is well powdered because I don't want white embossing powder where I don't want white embossing powder. So I got my Versamark. I'm going to grab another block. Will that fit? Yep. So I can use a C. I think that's a C. I don't know. I think it's a C. Oh, the dropsies. Yeah, C. So I'm going to load that up on a C block. Any block will do. I just find personally, the closer your block is to the size of your stamp, the better stamp you're going to get. You don't have that, the rocking so much, and you have less chance of having a halo. But, oops, it didn't stick. I think it needs to be cleaned. So that's the thing. If your stamps are not sticking to your blocks, it's because they have like lint or they just need cleaning. Just get the dust off. I've got embossing ink Versamark all over my thing there. There. So that should stick better now. So there's nothing wrong with your stamps. It just means they're dirty. They need a little clean. They probably have picked up dust or something along the road there. All right. So I'm going to put this back on the paper and pick it up with my block. Now it's stuck. Okay, very good. So let's re-ink that up. Hello friend. And I'm just going to pop that kind of over here. Beautiful. And I have, let me grab my scrap paper right here. And I've got my Wow white embossing powder. And you can see here that I think, okay, I'm going to clean this off and I'm going to flip it over. I think when I realized that it hadn't stamped well, or the stamp fell off, it fell onto here and left Versamark. So let's clean this up and we're going to start that part over again. So let's get this back in the jar. And I'm going to flip this over and take my embossing buddy and make sure that I'm covered there. So let's try this again. All right, so I'm going to ink it up and stamp it. Beautiful. And embossing powder. Yeah, much better. Much, much better. Okay, so let's get this back in the jar. You don't want to have heat near your open embossing powder. And I'm just going to grab my heat tool. And I'm going to let it warm up a little bit. All right. So let's go ahead and heat it from the back. You can see it's starting to change now. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to grab my mini cutting machine. So I just have my little mini guy here. Make some room. All right, so to use the mini die cut machine, I need my base plate, which is number 1, and 2 little cutting plates that are number 2. And the die that I'm going to be using is part of the Lovely Arrangements dies, and I'm going to use this one. Let's get this open. Oops, and it just lost a flower. There we go. These magnets that I bought, not the greatest. Bought them on Amazon and they come in they're 8.5 by 11 and you cut them to fit. But they're very lightweight, very flimsy, and they don't stick worth a darn. So I did buy like a package of like 50 sheets or something like that. So I'm sort of stuck with them and I'm making do, but really check out the thickness of the mills, of how many mills are on the magnetic sheet, and get a good quality one. I thought this was a good quality one, but apparently not. All right, so I'm just going to grab some masking tape here. Maybe if I can get it off my... Here we go. There, I'm just gonna, just some washi tape. I'm just gonna try and make sure that's pretty straight. There we go. Pop my other plate on top of there. Just right through. Okie doke. so cute. Okay, and I'm just going to put this away so I don't lose it. Maybe. There. And I've gotten in the habit of, it tells you on your package how many dies are in each package. And literally before I put anything, like all my things away at the end of the day, I always count my dies. And then if I need to, if something, I can't find something, I get my husband in here looking, and we find it between the two of us. And that's what I do every single day. Because I've lost dies and, oh, nothing makes me crazier. All right, so this is going to go on here. Let me grab some dimensionals over here. And we're just going to pop this up on dimensionals. So cute. There. There we go. Now, where do I want this? Do I want it up above? I kind of have it like this on my other card. I'm going to do that too. Just like that. Wow. So cute. So now, for embellishments, what will we use? Now, I have these Moody Palette Glossy Dots. I'm not 100% sure what the colors are. This is Secret Sea, so I'm going to use that. This is Cloud Cover. I'm going to say Old Olive and White, but I'm going to use the Secret Sea ones. So I just cut it in half so it would fit in there. Let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to pop a few on my card. And where will I put this guy? Maybe here. I'm going to move this one. Like that. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to put another one there because I lifted the paper. Pop that guy there. And I always do odd numbers, so I'm going to add another one up here. There. Isn't that cute? I love it. So, so, so cute. I'm still getting used to where the camera is. There. So cute. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. Let me show you again the other ones that I made. And I hope you try it. I will post the dimensions of my pieces. I'll try and get that done tonight, actually. So this was one using the February product of the month, that designer paper, which I think it's still available, actually. But isn't that cute? And then I just used the birthday banners for the front here. And I used the stamps from the Lovely Arrangements. Oh, no, not for this one. What did I use for this one? These little leaves. Oh, you know what? I put it away. Oh, no, there it is. Just a sec. The springtime scenes. I used the little leaf from the springtime scenes on this one. And the You Brighten My Day. So I bought this. I actually bought this bundle just for the ladybug. I love it. So that's where this came from. Now this ribbon is retired. It was the only pretty peacock ribbon I could come up with, but you know, go through your stash and see what you have. You don't always have to buy what's new, although it's always fun to get new stuff, but go through your stash. I'm forever going through my stash and using up old designer paper and old embellishments and stuff like that. And, you know, you bought them, you might as well use them. So that's that paper, the product of the month. And then again from the Lovely arrangement, I always forget the name of it, but that paper, the designer paper from this one, this was also a panel inside the designer series paper. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. And then here's the other one, like the one that we did today. And then this was an old retired designer paper. Doreen, do you have the name of this paper? Do you still have it over there?
No.
Oh.
I brought it in.
Oh, did you? Where is it? I can't remember. Oh, thank you. The Everyday Happiness. This is retired. It was the 2025 scrapbook. I think it's retired. I didn't look it up, to be perfectly frank. Sorry about that. But I have tons of it. I never really used it. And I'm thinking now, I love it. I don't know why I never used it. And then again for here, I used the die from the Lovely Arrangement dies to make this little element here. Super cute. And then I just used the the happy birthday. I can't remember which one that's from. Oh, it's from Fabulous Sayings, which was I think it was the January product of the month. And then I just fussy cut it out. Unfortunately, that product of the month sold out really, really quick. And that was this card. Aren't they cute? I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you give it a try because it's amazingly easy. And as always, if you have any questions, you know, let me know. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really love for you to subscribe. And if you have subscribed, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and make a comment. That really helps with my engagement within YouTube and Facebook. And if you don't have a Canadian demonstrator, I'd be more than happy to help you with any product orders that you have or any promotions or anything like that. Just let me know. You can always email me at critters'ninc@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to help you out there. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon. Take good care. Bye.